Hello. Bigfoot here. The following are 5 bone-chilling stories of, well, me. Why not? Enjoy. Story number 1. In the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, there lurked a creature that struck fear into the hearts of anyone who crossed its path. Its name was Bigfoot, and it was said to be a massive, hairy beast that stood over 8 feet tall and weighed well over 500 pounds. Many people claim to have seen Bigfoot over the years, but none of their stories compared to the terror that befell a group of hikers who dared to venture deep into the heart of the forest. The group had been hiking for hours when they came across a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a massive tree, and at the base of the tree lay a pile of bones. The hikers were immediately on edge, sensing that something was not right. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the trees. The hikers froze in fear as they realized that they were not alone. Out of the darkness stepped Bigfoot, its massive frame towering over them. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and its long arms hung down by its sides, ready to strike. The hikers tried to run, but it was too late. Bigfoot was upon them in an instant, its massive jaws snapping shut as it sank its teeth into one of the hikers' arms. The group screamed in terror as they watched their friend being dragged away, Bigfoot's huge hands staring into his flesh. As the hikers scrambled to get away, Bigfoot let out a bone-chilling howl, signaling to its brethren that prey was near. In an instant, dozens of Bigfoot emerged from the trees, their eyes fixed on the terrified hikers. The hikers ran as fast as they could, but it was no use. The Bigfoot were too fast, too strong, and too numerous. One by one, they were caught and dragged away, their screams echoing through the forest as the creatures tore into their flesh. In the end, only one hiker managed to escape. He stumbled out of the forest, covered in blood and shaking with fear. When he was finally able to speak, he told a tale of terror that would haunt the town for years to come. From that day forward, no one dared to venture into the forest alone, for they knew that Bigfoot and its kin were waiting, hungry for their next victim. Story number 2. Deep in the heart of the dense forest, there was a legend that few dared to speak of, the legend of Bigfoot. It was said that this massive, hairy creature roamed the woods at night, stalking any unwary hiker who dared to cross its path. One summer evening, a group of campers set up their tents deep in the woods, hoping to enjoy a peaceful night under the stars. But as the sun set and the woods grew dark, they began to feel a sense of unease. As they sat around the campfire, they heard strange noises coming from the trees. At first, they tried to brush it off, assuming it was just the wind or some nocturnal animal. But as the sounds grew louder and more persistent, they began to realize that something was out there, watching them. Suddenly, a massive figure emerged from the shadows, towering over them like a dark, fearsome god. It was Bigfoot, its eyes gleaming with a fierce intelligence, its massive muscles rippling beneath its shaggy fur. The campers tried to run, but they were no match for the creature's lightning speed and massive strength. One by one, they fell to the ground, screaming in terror as Bigfoot tore them limb from limb. As the night wore on, the forest grew quiet once again, save for the occasional eerie howl of the beast as it roamed the woods, searching for its next victim. The campsite lay empty and abandoned, a testament to the terror that had taken place there. To this day, no one knows what became of the campers who dared to venture into the woods that fateful night. Some say that they were never found, their bodies lost forever in the vast wilderness. Others believe that they were devoured by Bigfoot, their bones scattered among the trees as a warning to all who would dare to cross its path. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain, the legend of Bigfoot lives on, haunting the dreams of those who dare to venture into the wilderness after dark. Story number 3. In the dense forest of the Pacific Northwest, there lived a creature feared by all who knew of its existence. The locals called it Bigfoot, a towering beast with matted fur and eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian. No one knew where it came from, or how long it had been stalking the woods, but everyone knew one thing: encountering it could mean certain death. The story goes that a group of hikers set out into the woods one autumn day, eager to explore the rugged terrain and capture some stunning nature photos. They had all heard the stories of Bigfoot, but dismissed them as nothing more than legends told around campfires. As they hiked deeper into the woods, the air grew colder and the trees more menacing. A sense of unease crept over the group, but they pressed on, eager to reach their destination. As the sun began to set, they set up camp in a clearing, hoping to catch a glimpse of the stars through the trees. But as night fell, the forest came alive with sounds of snapping twigs and rustling leaves. The hikers huddled around their fire, trying to ignore the ominous noises. But then, something stepped out of the shadows. It was Bigfoot, towering over them with a ferocity that made their blood run cold. Its eyes gleamed in the firelight, and its massive frame cast a shadow over the campsite. The hikers froze in terror, unable to move as the creature approached them. Its breath was hot and fetid, and its claws were as sharp as knives. With one swift motion, it lunged at them, tearing through the air like a tornado. The hikers screamed as they were tossed around like rag dolls, their bones cracking under the beast's crushing grip. They tried to fight back, But it was no use. Bigfoot was too strong, too powerful. And then, just as suddenly as appeared, the creature vanished back into the woods, leaving behind a trail of carnage and devastation. The hikers who survived the night never spoke of what they saw again. But in the dark recesses of their minds, they could still hear the bone-chilling howl of Bigfoot, a sound that echoed through the forest like a warning to all who dared to venture into its domain. Story number 4. It was a dark and stormy night deep in the heart of the forest. The rain was pouring down, creating a symphony of sounds as it hit the leaves and branches. A group of hikers had decided to venture out into the wilderness despite the inclement weather, eager to explore the beauty of the natural world. As they trudged deeper and deeper into the forest, they suddenly heard a strange noise. It was a deep, guttural growl that seemed to come from all around them. The hikers stopped in their tracks, their hearts pounding with fear. Suddenly, a massive figure appeared in front of them, standing over 8 feet tall with long shaggy hair covering its entire body. It was Bigfoot. The hikers were frozen with terror as the creature towered over them, its piercing red eyes staring straight at them. It let out a deafening roar that echoed throughout the forest, causing the ground to shake beneath their feet. Suddenly, the creature lunged at them, its massive hands reaching out to grab them. The hikers tried to run, but the creature was too fast. It chased them through the forest, its roar growing louder and louder as it closed in on them. They stumbled over branches and rocks, desperately trying to escape the monster that was pursuing them. As they reached a clearing in the forest, the hikers thought they had finally lost Bigfoot. But just as they caught their breath, they heard a rustling in the bushes. The creature emerged once again, even angrier than before. The hikers knew they had to do something to survive. They grabbed their hiking poles and started swinging at the monster, hoping to fend it off. But the creature was too strong. With one swift motion, it knocked them to the ground, its massive foot pinning them down. As the hikers lay there, helpless, they could feel the hot breath of Bigfoot on their faces. They knew that this was the end. The last thing they heard was the creature's chilling roar before it tore them apart. From that day on, no one ever ventured into the forest again. And those who did never returned. The legend of Bigfoot lived on, a terrifying reminder of the dangers that lurk in the unknown depths of the wilderness. So, there you have it. Are you scared yet? Sweet dreams. And for the campers, really sweet dreams. Hee hee, hee hee.